There's a day that we love. It's our time to be free. From the hustle and bustle, we take a step back. It's Aloha Friday. It's time to chill and relax. Aloha Friday, the day we all love. With Dean and Nano, we rise above. From the real uncommon podcast, we bring you the vibe. It's time to have fun. Let's take this ride. And Nano's laughter, Dean's witty charm. Together they're a team, they'll ease you with calm. Songs of life and passion in this digital land. Aloha Friday, come join our fam. Aloha Friday, the day we all love. With Dean and Nano, we rise above. From the real uncommon podcast, we bring you the vibe. It's time to have fun. Let's take this ride. From the mountains to the beaches, from the dawn to the night, the Aloha Friday spirit shines oh so bright. So gather your friends, let your worries go. It's time to talk stories on this YouTube show. With the positive vibes in the ocean's breeze. Aloha Friday, it's moments like these. Aloha Friday, the day we all love. The day we all love. Nano, we rise above. We rise above. From the real uncommon podcast, we bring you the vibe. It's time to have fun. Let's take this ride. Aloha Friday, don't work till Monday. With Dean and Nano, they'll make you happy. Let's cheers to the weekend and raise a glass. Aloha Friday, it's time at last. Aloha Friday, don't work till Monday. With Dean and Nano.
What is up, everyone? We're still here. Happy Aloha Friday. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Uncommon Podcast. This is our 131st live stream. Let's go, everyone. It's the weekend. It's time to chill and relax, and I hope everyone is having a beautiful Friday. For the people over the pond, it's Saturday. Good morning. Let's go, everybody, and let's see how Dee is doing. Dee, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm still here. Happy Aloha Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work till, I don't know.
She's talking about her. She's talking about her. Guys, we weren't sure if we were going to be here. Don't worry, we do have the backup. The backup is standing by, but we are still here. And so, since we're still here, the show must still go on. But before the show goes on, how are you doing today, Dee? Seriously, how are you doing today, Dee?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Getting there, but overall it's been good. Yeah, without getting into like all the medical details. I don't think anyone wants to hear that on Aloha Friday. But yeah, still here, still waiting on the little one to make an entrance. So yeah.
He's going to be fashionably late like his father and also his sister because, unfortunately, besides Dee, I usually show up late to everything. So, yeah, it's a bad trait. But, yeah, we want to be very, very honest with our audience that this may very well be one of our last shows for a while. For a while may mean a week or two. Not sure yet. We'll have to play that out. But, you know, I even asked this. I told Dee, hey, so you sure you want to do Friday's show? I mean, we can actually not do it and take a break, you know what I mean? Because we're getting close to, you know, the thing. And she literally told me, the show must go on. I'm like, she is a trooper. She's a trooper, you guys. That's why we're still here. So shout out to D. We're still here. And we have a phenomenal guest in the studio tonight, this morning, wherever you are. D, who do we have today?
Our special guest comes from the north. We've got DDS. Let's bring him in.
All right, let's go, guys.
Hello.
Let's go. What is up, DDS? I always want to say it like that. No, we trying to sound more. How you doing, fam?
I'm doing great, right? So it's very excited to be here, right? So honored to be possibly the last guest for a little while, right? So we shall see, right? Hopefully nothing crazy goes on while we're talking. I'm a somewhat medically trained professional, so I can give some advice, but I don't know how helpful I can be.
Yeah, I'll be tech support, telemed, right? Over the internet.
Yeah. Okay. DDS, what do we do? Before we get started, guys, I completely forgot to do one thing, and I'm getting rusty already. So here, hold on.
Okay.
So here, we're better now.
Nice. Change up the view, eh?
We had to change the view, but I was a little bit slow on that. But DDS, thank you for joining us today, man. This is like I get excited every single time that we get to meet one of the community members and our audience that has been following us for a while. I get very giddy. And so when I finally got to see what you look like when you met up with Bones, I was like, man, I really wish we could have been there, right? Because I think last year, D and I was actually planning to go to Fan Expo. You know, before the economy kind of took a little crazy turn, we were going to do it. And before also we were having a baby, right? So, but that looked like a lot of fun, and we'll get into that. But how are you doing today, my friend? Happy Aloha Friday.
Yeah, Aloha Friday to you guys as well, right? So as I said, very excited to be here, and looking forward to our conversation. I'm open to everything, and love to talk about the cons and everything else. But hey, next time you guys want to make it out here, hey, we got a place for you, no problem. We got our guest room ready, all other stuff ready.
We tell the same thing to everybody here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't forget the exchange rate is like 1.4%. So you make you're killed over here, right?
Like a bandit. Woo, let's go. Okay, I'm bummed because we met up with Chris Severs like a few months back in Maui, and so where is it? There's a bottle of maple syrup that I'm not allowed to touch because apparently it's a collectible now, and I really wanted to try like authentic maple syrup from up there, but my wife won't let me try it, and Chris gave us a bottle the size of a shot glass. So
it's a collectible.
There you go. That's a mindset, man. That's a mindset. Save it.
That's very true. We've been trained for that.
Yeah.
Oh man. But D, how's about you start off the show while I get things ready? Because we're also running a giveaway while the show's running, guys. So give me some time. Go for it, D.
Yeah. So once again, thank you so much, DDS, for your time and being here. I know the time difference and busy schedule, but just kind of want to start off easy on you, and if you could tell us and the audience a little bit about yourself, or a lot about yourself, whatever you're comfortable with, and how you got started in this space, and getting to meet people and stuff.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm from up here in Toronto, Canada. So we the North for sure, right? So I saw Big A just commenting that he remembers from back in the Metal Lemon days. But interesting enough, I think Big A is the first one to ever sort out suss out what the DDS stood for, right? So I am an actual DDS, a doctor of dental surgery. Right, so fake doctor, right? So dentist, sure. So just along those lines. So yeah. So I'm enjoying doing that. I've been blessed with what I get to do. I find it pretty interesting. A lot of different variety for sure. And just growing up, I've always had a background. I've always been into like kind of like superheroes and kind of like heroic type of stuff, whether it be reading or these type of things. Love all the cartoons like the Thundercats, He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that stuff, right? So you'll
Speaking
see
my language, TDS.
yeah. You'll see some of the things I've kind of acquired. I might show you a couple of things here and there, right? So, but
Nice.
and then really in terms of digital collecting journey, kind of pandemic rolled around, and then everyone was like twiddling their thumbs, looking for stuff to do, I guess, right? So just going on online. I think even for me, it pretty much started with like Vivi, right? So just saw one of those videos from Andre Jick, something about I guess the first Spider-Man collectible, and didn't quite clue on back then, but it was kind of in the back of my mind. And then some other stuff come up, and to tell the truth, I missed all the good stuff, right? It's like, oh my God, it's like Pod, forget it. Like Spider-Man, forget it. Disney, what the golden moments, just missed that, and I came in, and then so I got to pick up the kind of the scraps that were left over.
So we came in at the same time then, because I
Yeah.
missed all of that too. I got in when Steamboat Willie kind of dropped, right? Like actually the day Voltron dropped was the day I actually signed into the app.
Okay, I think I was a little before you. I remember. I think the first app or the first drop I actually got was one of those. I guess the cereal guys, the Rice Krispie one. I guess the triple headed guy, right? So yeah, those are the days that you grab that and just like flip it for like double at least right away. But then that kind of you know what I thought, like probably a lot of people, that I wanted something here. I really understand collecting. I understand the idea of first in collecting. I've seen people do so well in real estate and these things, and it's stuff when you're studying as a doctor or a dentist, whatever. You're so focused on just tunnel vision, just like let me focus on this, and just like you don't kind of look outside and see how you can take advantage of other opportunities. So I felt like this was my opportunity. So I kind of like jumped in there. Now it's kind of been a mixed bag for sure, right? So, but a lot of lessons, a lot of lessons learned though, but I cannot complain. You know what? Everything is a valuable lesson. And the biggest thing it's brought is that sense of community. That's just the meeting new people. It's been amazing, and I mean it's great. I've only met a couple of guys here, just like Bones, like you said, just at that convention, and my friend here, Chris Fat Cat, who's been a delight to meet up with as well too, right? So hopefully get a chance to meet a bunch of you guys as time goes on. But I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, so we got similar. So I kind of got into this as well. It was more of like an alternative investment, right? I was literally looking for something different, and so my chiropractor got me into NFTs. I've told this story a bunch of times before, and my first NFT that I ever collected was a popcorn bucket. It was a golden popcorn bucket from AMC. I believe it's on wax, so I still have that. But like that kind of got me intrigued. I kind of looked at these as like, say, digital Veblen goods, kind of like a Coach bag or something like that. But you're right; it's turned into a mixed bag. But there has been some really good caveats about this and some bad ones. What I really love about it is obviously we've met the community. We've made some friends. Actually, we've made a lot of friends in here. It's gotten me back into collecting. So that was like the big one for me. Yep. I collected as a kid back in the 90s, mainly like a bunch of Image comics, Savage Dragon, Spawn, Shadowhawk, Cyberforce, and all these guys, right? So that's when I started really collecting a bunch of comic books. And then over the years, you get into high school, you want to start like doing other things. Comic wasn't cool. Girls didn't like comic book collectors, right? So then I kind of retired all that, put the shoe boxes in the closet. And then I kind of like forgot about it until I got into Vivi, got my wife into comics. You guys, she would never even look at a comic book or even talk about this kind of stuff. We just go and watch movies together, right? We go watch like the Avengers or something like that. And then it got my daughter into that. And I really believe my daughter getting into comic books got her into manga, because now she's like all into manga. For me, this has been a blessing and a curse, because there's a ton of like long and short boxes behind me right here, not to mention the stuff that are still in the garage. So yeah, we are definitely accumulating over here. But what I really love about this the most was the networking part of this whole thing. Meeting you, meeting Raven, meeting all our friends, the biggest bro, and everyone else in between. I've been able to interview CEOs and talk with all these movers and shakers in the Web3 space to where it's been beneficial, it's been fun, and I'm just having a great time. So, what do you think about that, D?
No, I feel the same. Like you mentioned, I wasn't really into the whole comics and collectibles. I mean, I knew what they were from when I was younger, but and I've told my story too. Like, my brother was the one that had all those cool things, and I just kind of played with them when he wasn't around. I like hid in the bathroom and read his comic books. But yeah, it's been a nice journey over these past, it's been like 3 years, right?
Ooh.
Or coming up on on 3 years. But yeah, like what I gained from it was yeah, the sense of community, meeting people from like all over the world, Canada, you know, America, down in Australia, Europe, Asia. So yeah, it's been a really nice journey to get to meet people from all over the world and conversate with them, and hopefully, yeah, meet up with them in real life in the future events, like in November,
Yeah.
if you're gonna go.
I'll have to, get the boss to okay that one, right? So we shall see. We shall see. We'll work on that, right?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
luckily my
yeah,
boss is all gung ho for it. So
yeah,
I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Huh? What do you
yeah.
want to do?
No,
Yeah.
it's funny you're talking about the comics because I had similarly. I used to collect back in the day. Just grabbing them off the newsstands, like whatever used to come up in random stores, even grocery stores, and then started doing a little bit more formal collecting, kind of like around the Jim Lee time, X-Men 1 when that came out, and like all those things, like Bane breaking Batman, Death of Superman, all that type of stuff. Like it just ignited everything, right? And then as you said, just time went on, get married, family, this, that, things kind of peter down, and then you kind of like lose interest for a bit. But then what reignited my interest, I don't know if you remember this guy. This
Oh,
is
yes, I
Oh
do.
yes.
Let's
Yes.
go.
So this is a slab that I won from your first, I think, giveaway for
Oh, no, it was a
the
Wow.
stuff,
raffle. You
right?
won it in the
Yeah, the
raffle.
raffle.
A
Yeah,
raffle, yeah.
the raffle. That's right. So I got this and it's like, whoa, shiny. It's like exciting, right? And let's say it just reignited something for sure. So, but I've definitely been a lot more involved once again with the comic books, and it's been just so much fun going back and seeing what you have and reigniting your interest and your passion. And look, I don't know, comics might get a bad rap, like, oh, they're just for kids or something like that, but there's a reason why they're so popular in mainstream movies, and pretty much everything is made off of some kind of background from, like, a comic or these type of stories. I mean, they're very sophisticated in terms of thought processes. Like they've been written by like so many like Pulitzer Prize winning people now, and all these type of things. Like some of these ideas are so abstract and so they just go way over my head, right? How creative people can be with that. But I mean, there's something literally for everyone, right? If you really look into it. But I have so many stories that I love, and I do love the superhero stuff. But there's so many things that, like, even war stories, like even simple things about relationships. There's so many different ways to convey these emotions, and it's just so vast, right? So it's everyone can go on their own journey. So I really enjoy it, I think.
No, I completely agree on that. For me, growing up, I was a single. It was a only child, right? And then also lived in a very poor home. So TV wasn't really a part of my life until, like, I want to say first grade, kindergarten, first grade, something like that. So I used to escape in comic books. My grandpa gave me like my first bout of comic books. It was a Batman comic. I don't remember which one it was because I don't have it anymore. I thought I did, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, it was an escape for me. And so throughout my adolescence, even when I started collecting in Image Comics, it was still an escape for me. It was some place where I could, like, pretend to be somebody else, or look up to somebody else because I was by myself, right? My parents were always working, so I barely saw them. There were night owls, so they were pretty much sleeping in the day and working at night. So yeah, the comic books was a really big escape for me. And then TV, finally, when we had cable, I Disney and all that stuff. I don't remember DuckTales and
Yeah,
Tailspin and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I used to escape in all of that.
Woo-hoo.
Um, yeah,
He knows
exactly.
the theme song.
But see, but that's the whole thing, right? It's the thing that Chris likes to always bring up, Chris Evers, nostalgia respark. It's something in your brain where you're like, it brings you back to your childhood and it makes you feel good. I remember feeling good the first time I watched Back to the Future. I saw that beautiful DeLorean travel through time and thought to myself, I would love to do that. I would love to like go off in some fantasy adventure and like, travel in time and save the universe or all that other stuff. What do you think about that, D? Were you similar in your childhood?
Similar. Like I said, I wasn't the one that collected any of the comics and collectibles, but like watching the TV shows when I could, like after school, watching Wonder Woman and the Batman series on like the basic channels. So like for me, like Wonder Woman is my all-time like superhero because she's just like really badass and she like saves the day and stuff. So I was always like looked up to her, and I guess in a way like now that I think about it, my mom was kind of like that because she was a single mom and she used to work like two jobs to support my brother and I and our grandma, and we would hardly see her too. Like she would come home like really late while we were sleeping, and then she had to get up and do it the next morning. um so in a way, yeah, like the TV shows, like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, all of that was just like watching these and getting lost in like these characters saving the day and it makes you kind of like, I can do that, or you want to become something like that when you got older. So I think that like helped kids. I mean, I don't know how old everyone is, but like us growing up in that era to like get us through whatever we were going through, like at home, or at school and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of
Sure.
went on a tangent here.
No. That's funny. Like, actually, I know that you're a fan of Wonder Woman. I identify with Wonder Woman quite a bit, to tell you the truth. Like, out of all the heroes, like in terms of my background, in terms of what I come from, like I'm from the Sikh religion, right? So we kind of have that concept of where we try to be like saint soldiers. That we have our prayers that we do. We try to be very spiritual and stuff like that. So Wonder Woman has that aspect. She's very devoted to the Greek gods, and she draws power and strength from peace and tranquility. But like she always tries for diplomatic solutions. But when the time comes to it, like if all else fails, she's not afraid to pick up the sword for justice, right? And we kind of like have that kind of like philosophy and kind of like concept as well too, right? So we love peace and we love to advocate for that, but don't take stuff sitting down and necessarily, right? So like I really do appreciate that, right? So she's got the long hair, right? Everything like that. So I do appreciate that. All good, right? So, for sure.
Yeah.
She got also the lasso of truth, and depending which Wonder Woman we're talking about, that might be a golden chancla involved. We'll never know.
Yeah. Shout out Nat. Yeah. And
nice,
then
nice.
for you, Hinano, you had like similar like a similar character, right? I know you've mentioned it before that helped you grow up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
like,
hero.
so Batman was always my favorite hero because, I mean, he's a street level type of hero, but he was always kind of had like that disturbed soul because of what happened to him. Now, I never lost my parents, but I did live a interesting childhood in terms of being houseless. I like to say houseless because Hawaii is my home, and I just didn't have a house at the time. So, like, growing up like that can kind of like really mess with you as a kid. So that was one of the characters I could relate to because of the torment. I'm not like that anymore, but when I was a young kid, I did go through a lot of stuff. But luckily, throughout my years, you meet the right friends. And what I mean, the right friends, you have to find the right friends. There's wrong friends and there's the right friends. And so I found the right friends. I just got lucky. And, I got into the path of who I am. Who you see now on screen is not who I was back, even in my high school days. I was a different person, still a kind person, still a nice person, still a Hawaiian guy. but not so open like this. You wouldn't catch me, on camera, any of this kind of stuff, right? Back in the day. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I really resonated with Batman the most. And then, talking about like cartoons and stuff like that, that's another escape right there. So like my favorite cartoon, because I saw you, see Spill, you were mentioning about Saturday cartoons, right? I really loved the real Ghostbusters. I had
Oh
this
yeah.
big
Ooh.
fear of the dark, like a super fear of the dark. And there's reasons why we're very spiritual over here. So there's reasons why you're afraid of the dark if you're a spiritual person. And so yeah, it really resonated with me on if I was able to like overcome my fears by busting ghosts, right? And so my parents, they bought me like my own proton pack. I had the jumpsuit, I had the firehouse, I had the Ecto one, all of it, and I used to surround it by my bedroom. And before I go to bed, I would literally put the proton pack right there. I know it's pretty geeky, I know, but like ever since that cartoon came out, I overcame that fear. I remember this. I remember having this fear, and I want to say it was probably from watching like Freddy Krueger or something like that from my mom's brother, because like
That'll do it.
that
Oh
scene where the
yeah.
dude gets sucked into the waterbed, I
Mm.
still cannot forget it. So, but yeah, the
Yeah.
real Ghostbusters. And similarly, my daughter had the same phobia. She was afraid of the dark. And so I said, okay, you know what? Let's go find the real Ghostbusters. Just see what happens. She fell in love with the cartoon. Now, it's not really a cartoon you should be showing kids now, because if you really look at it, it's got some funky stuff. But she just
Mm.
looked at it as overcoming her fear, pretending to be Peter Venkman. That was her favorite, Peter
Mm-hmm.
Venkman. And yeah, I think she loved the Ghostbusters for 3 years and she got over it. She was literally, how old was she when we had a Ghostbuster party, D?
It was her 4th birthday. It was Ghostbuster
Wow.
themed. That's what she wanted, and everyone
She
was like,
wanted.
"Wow, that is so cool."
Yeah.
So
But
Yeah.
yeah, that helped her out a lot, especially dealing with ghosts or the dark at night, and yeah, um, and she kind of got out of her shell because of that. Just animation, all that stuff that she sees helps her as well as other kids. So I mean, it does do a person good at times if you don't
Yeah.
overdo it.
Yeah, I mean, these things, all these shows, I mean, they help set your morals. They kind of like give you that kind of support. They give you a friend if you need it as well, I guess, right, to some extent. And then, like you
yeah.
said, that's why these things are so nostalgic as you kind of grow up. I mean, really, if you're even looking at all these digital collectibles and even collectibles in general, we're of that age that now that we're earning money, we go back. To tell the truth, I think we lived through a golden age. If you're like similar ages to us, right? Like, I'll be very frank, I don't think the cartoons and all the kind of like characters is that compared to what we had like back back in the day. I'll be very frank, right? So like I look at
No,
the
no,
stuff my kids watch. I mean, it's good. Well, it's interesting. Like, they have their stuff,
it's
but like,
interesting.
yeah, no, look, Teen Titans. I love that show. It's very, and SpongeBob, right? It's great, but it's like psychedelic. It's like there's no story, right? It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah. It's like Ren and
woo, right?
Stimpy almost.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
100% Ren and Stimpy. That's exactly it. So I feel like kids need to have more structured, kind of like, this is what a chapter is, this is what a plot is, this, that. It's
Hmm.
so
this is
chaotic.
the
And
villain.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, you have to keep things simple. Like, it's all us old folks like, you damn kids, you don't understand it. Like, back in the day, it's all
Oh,
good.
they'll never know. They'll never know what it feels like to ride your bike to your friend's house because you couldn't text. There was no FaceTime. I mean, I remember having the rotary dial phone with the long,
Yes.
Gosh, long
the
cord.
long handset cord that could go stretch across the entire hallway to the kitchen and back to your room. I had one of
Oh
Yeah.
those.
man.
Shout out to Kenobi right here. Thank you, Brody.
Thank you,
Big
Brody.
appreciation to you.
Brody.
You didn't have to do that. Thank you, man. Really appreciate you right there. If you guys haven't yet, please subscribe to this guy's Whatnot channel. I don't know what you're doing if
Yes,
you're not
sir.
subscribed. Let's go. All right, continue. Go for it, D.
Um, what were we talking about? Shows. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
I had a point I was gonna say, and then Hinata came and whammied. Um, okay, we can move on to. It's gonna come back because it was about a TV show. But yeah, going back on what you mentioned, during the Wonder Woman talk and the religion and stuff. I know you mentioned earlier about when before the stream about being like a sing.
Yeah,
That's part
yeah.
of your name. Is that something you can touch
Yeah, I
more
can.
on? Because it's very
Yeah, I can elaborate
interesting.
on that. Yeah, so you might have noticed that a lot of people from our religion, Sikh religion, usually they have the males all have the last name Singh, right? And for a lot of the females, they'll have the last name Kaur, like Kaur. So what happens is that back in the day, when really our faith was kind of like starting evolving, there was a lot of kind of like a prejudice and class system where some people were considered very high class and some people were considered very low class and even untouchable. So you couldn't have people that were low caste even eating with the people of high caste. Basically, it could be the thing that you can if a high class person stepped into the shadow of a low class person, they'd have to like go and like take a bath, like that they thought that, oh my god, I'm impure, right? So
wow.
our kind of like spiritual masters or gurus, like they had this concept of course, of equality, of all humanity is all equal, right? So so when we actually get baptized, if we kind of like we're anointed and we kind of like kind of commit to the faith, we're all given the last name for Singh as males and then Kaur as female. And this is the idea that if you're from an Asian background, if you're black, if you're white, if you're an alien, if you're tall, if you're short, if you're male, whatever it is, you all drink from the same kind of like a nectar that they kind of prepare for you, and then all the prayers are done. But then basically given the same name, so it showed that there is an equality, right? That's all between all of us, right? So there's no distinction, so that you shouldn't think that you're better than anyone. It's like a symbol of humility, right? In terms of that, right? And then we have like 5Ks, like symbols, like we keep our gaze, which are our hair, like we never cut our hair. We have our like karad, which is this like a steel bangle, which it's like a circular symbol of almost like God is infinite, no beginning, no end, right?
Wow.
So then defense, it's like a defensive type of thing as well too. So lots of
Like
people
Wonder
meeting,
Woman.
Wonder Woman, there you go. I never thought about that, right? So there you go. Wonder Man, right? So
Wonder Man. So you have to wear this like all the time. You can't take it off.
All the time, right?
Okay.
So like even unless it's like a medical procedure, like life or death, but even then some people don't even agree to that. But
Okay.
it's just really a matter of commitment. Like, to tell the truth, like I even I have like a small sword that I even have on me all the time, the kirpan. That's what we have as well too. But we don't even take it off like in the shower. Like when we have that, like I tie it around my head, because like I don't know if you've seen that scene in Psycho, right? That movie, right? So where like I don't want to spoil it. So people say, like, why would you do that, right? Hey man, like watch that movie and you'll know why you should be prepared at all times, right?
Okay, I gotta go watch it then.
Don't spoil it for the.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything, but like those old Hitchcock movies, sometimes you think like, what the heck? Like, what am I gonna get from this? But some of those Hitchcock movies are amazing. I love Psycho, and you'll see so many sayings that you've heard of, like just in general population, come from movies like these from back in the day, right? There's a couple from there for sure, right? So yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's very
Absolutely.
interesting. I really love what you just explained right here. And so Dee is, I don't want to say she has similar cultures right here, but she's from the island of Yap, which has a certain caste system as well.
No.
Are you still there?
I'm still here. Are you here?
Okay. Yeah. I thought the internet went out for a bit because I saw everybody kind of like rotate, but we're still here. You guys still see us down there? Please let us know. I think we're okay. Yo,
Yeah, I think we're good.
This happened to Oz today too. So.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Comic Guy, do you see us? Are we good? Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay.
I think we're okay.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So for me, yeah, growing up in the island of Yap until I was about 7, and I moved here to Hawaii. Yeah, we have. Oh, they probably still have the caste system, but there was like 7 different levels of the caste system. So you're either like really low class, and then all the way to like the very high class. I think nowadays there's only like low, medium, and high. So I was at the low class. but yeah, it was kind of similar to what you were mentioning about your experience. Like,
Mhm.
depending on which village you traveled to or you had to go through to get to another village, if you were the low class, you had to wear you had to pick like a piece of leaf or like a branch and put it under your arm, and you would walk through that village because that would show them as like you're being respectful, or you don't mean like bad intent, so that would allow you to pass through. um and like, depending on the people, because there's like bad people out there, if you were to go to like one of the higher class and they didn't like you, you could get like beat up or whatever, mugged and robbed if you were from a low class. So us low class people, we hardly ever went to like the higher class, if we don't have to. Like, I had to go through a few of the classes like higher than me to get to the school that I went to. So yeah, we would have to get a branch and put it under our arms and go through that village and then go to school. And then when you're out of school, you do the same thing to get back to your village safely. um yeah, Hunger Games kind of. um but like, the funny thing is, like, my biological mom's side is from the low class, but my biological dad, he's from like one of the, I think, second to the highest class system, but he chose to move to my mom's village when they got married and had all of us kids. Um, so technically, I guess I'm in both, but I was raised in the low class, which is fine because I think it humbles you, right? And you appreciate things more. Um, but
Sure. No, sure.
yeah,
Like it's amazing to hear everyone's experiences that are out there, right? So like, you do hope though that people do um, kind of change their perspectives over time, because like, I mean, there's so much hurt that can come from these things, and the world is so divisive and divided right now. Like, you need a lot more compassion and caring to I feel almost like kind of make a difference in the world, right? So like, I mean,
yeah.
we even have a saying that we say "tol taram dea kaput." So there's like taram, or you might have heard of dharma, right? So like being like
Mhm.
righteousness, right? Righteous actions. So so the old Indian concept used to be like the world is held up by this bull, like a bull, kind of like Atlas in Greek mythology holds up the whole world, right? So there's a bull, and it's that's what Taram is, like it's represented by this bull, Tol, whatever it is. But a bull, it's the son of compassion, which is Dea. So compassion is like the father. So you have to have compassion before you can be righteous, right? So I
Mm.
mean, we all need to be more compassionate towards everyone. Like, we're so um, focused on just like one side, and I'm right and you're wrong. This is the only way that things can be. We just have to learn that what, it's okay to disagree, but we're kind of like human beings. We're all looking for the same comforts. So all looking for the same kind of like a good life for ourselves, for our neighbors, or us. I hope so. Or that's the world that I want to create. So you just have to be the change that you want to see in others, right? So I think so.
Yeah.
Can I say for the people in the very, very back, rewind 2 minutes of what he just said, please, please, because that was awesome. By the way, thank you.
Yeah.
I 100%
Okay.
agree. So
Sure. Absolutely.
But I think that also what you said can, not just in our personal life, but it can also tie into like what we've been, or what I've been seeing in our internet life of, there's so much division between like
Hmm.
people in projects, and because you're not in this project, you don't know what you're talking about, or why are you doing this on this platform, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm always like, why can't we all just get along? I mean, that's sometimes too much to ask, but I mean, we're all humans,
Yeah.
right?
That's
yeah,
that's
we're
the
all
thing, right?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No. You go. Like, I'm
No,
talking
so
too
I'm
much.
saying like no, we want you to talk a lot because if
Okay.
not, I'll talk too much. That's why I'm like really trying to hone back because everyone knows around in these streets that I talk way too much. But I completely agree. Like, in the end, we don't have to get this. It doesn't have to get this bad. Unity can be found between everyone. You can like this, you can like that. Not everyone likes the color purple or green, and it's okay. That's I think the issue that we're having is the okay part. It's okay. And I think sooner or later people will get it. But you know what? I think we should like change gears a little bit,
Sure.
and let's start talking about in real life events. It's my understanding you went to Fan Expo just recently. You met up with some of the community. How was that for you? How did you like that? You literally just told us at the beginning of the stream that by winning a comic, a physical one, it kind of got you back into the physical collecting. And I have a few things I want to share with you that I think you might resonate with you. I pulled out one of my favorite slabs and one of my favorite collectibles out just to kind of do a show and tell, but kind of give us a little bit description on how that went for you.
Yeah, it was exciting, a little bit nerve wracking. It's the first time you're kind of doing something like this, right? So I remember like we were just contacting by the phone, sending messages to each other. And to tell you the truth, Bones was there with I guess with Ray Ray, and then in Fan Expo, it's like madness. Like, I mean, I know you've heard of San Diego and New York, right? But Toronto is like a huge show too, right? Like it might be like third or fourth or whatever it is, right? So it's just humongous, right? And then they're just like at the line for pizza. They're like, we're by pizza, right? You go there and it's just like a mass of humanity. You can't see anybody, like, just like, you're fighting them and buy this column, this, that, whatever it is. And then it's like, you're looking. And the second movie, like all of a sudden I locked eyes with Bones. And you locked eyes with me. And he's a sharp pain. No, it wasn't like that.
You have like an old 80s.
Like
was there some Phil Collins playing in the background? You know what I mean?
It's slow motion.
Yes, he wasn't quite Pamela Anderson from back in the day, but it's okay.
It's in her eyes. No.
Oh man, no, but it was it was great. Like, it was just like it's like you've known these people like almost like your whole lives, right? So you have experiences, whether you like it or not. You've gone through ups and downs with these people, right? So you have a common background, right? So then it automatically kind of breaks the ice. You know what I mean? So you have that shared experience. And then you can just kind of chill with those people. Like, I mean, we had a great time. Like, I remember later on, there was a panel done by a very, very like popular artist right now, Art Journ. And I was like way at the back of the line. I got in pretty late. Like, I didn't know if I was going to make it in. But I walked in and I was walking towards the back. I get a tap and Bones was already there. It's like, yeah, we saved you a seat near the front, right? So we went and we got, I kind of sat down with them. So really appreciated it. We're way off to the side. So then when they're going for like, answer this question, you win this sketch that we're doing. We were like, whoa, but we're way off to the side. We just couldn't get visibility, right? So we kind of missed out on that, but it is what it is. But but as I said, great experience. It was so much fun. And you have to put yourself out there, right? So like some people might be nervous and think about, what are these people like, this, that. I mean, just give it a chance, and you'd be surprised with what can happen then, right? So yeah, I think it was a fantastic experience for sure. And then like I said, I met up with my friend Chris here from Fat Cat. And then
love Fat Cat.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great guy then too, right? So and then he took advantage of that little offer I did to get some Scotty Young signatures when I went on my little other side trip out to a convention in Trifficon, Connecticut. So I wasn't planning on that, but just in getting into all these comics, like I found out that Jim Lee is going to be there. And Jim Lee is like, oh my God, he's like a legend, right? From back in the day with the X-Men. And now he's like the CEO, I guess a chief creative officer at DC. So I said, you know what? I don't want to miss that opportunity, right? So I just made a decision to make a trip down. Wish I had some other people to go on down there with me, but
you went solo.
Solo, man, solo. I went with my boxes of like whatever, like a box full of books. I talked to the border guys, like, yeah, what are you doing down there? What are you going for? I'm going to get some signature for a convention. What now? What? Like, where are you going? Like
Comic
X-Men,
books.
Batman. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. We got a question here from Mahalo. He wants to know what was the question posed to Archer, if you
No.
remember.
So yeah. So no. So what it was? Okay. So they were doing a bunch of sketches. So he had his whole team out there. I guess there's I think there's like 4 of them, right? So just the artists that they're part of that made the trip down from Singapore, I guess, right? So they're just you have to win the sketch, you have to answer their question as well. So it might be like, who's my favorite character in Street Fighter? They like love video games. They're so into
Really?
it, right? And I mean, that's, I think half of the characters that they draw are from the video game world, and then half
Okay.
are probably from the comic book world or whatever's going on there too, right? And let's yes, a lot of eye candy that was there, but oh my god. But hey, so you had to kind of like answer, so I think one of them like Zangief or whomever it was, right? So like be prepared if you ever go to those shows, like do a bit of research ahead of time, or where what country are these people originally from, so you might win a nice prize from that, right?
Yeah, so I'm afraid to go to these things because I'm afraid I'm gonna go broke. Because that's my understanding. As soon as you go in there, it's nothing but eye candy.
Oh
But
man.
I kind of want to give a little similar story, and I've kind of told it before in the past, but you're absolutely right. You kind of got to put yourself out there to meet, to basically meet the community. And I don't suggest anyone in the internet to do this. A lot of us have been, interacting with each other for like 2-3 years, so we kind of know each other on the basis of basically doing these type of things. But when I went to DCon with D and my daughter, I was very nervous. In fact, I don't really get nervous. And I remember the first person we met was MC, My Collectibles. And, it was one of those things where you just bump into them and there he is, right? And then, so my thing is, because I've been watching these guys on YouTube for like a good year before I actually decided to like go and interact with them in real life. You get a little starstruck, right? I saw VV Vibes, and I didn't realize he was like Shaq. The sucker's pretty tall, you know what I mean? It's like, dang. And then, VV Meister, I remember him from the German YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then, what was so cool though, we got in the line, and in the front of us, this guy just turns around and says, hi. We start talking, and we found out this guy came from Hawaii. He was actually doing contract work on a different island, and he flew back to California just to go to DCon, and he's going to fly back. So that was a coincidental thing, right? And then behind us, we met this guy with his family. In fact, I think I remember his name was Anesthesia Penguin. Super cool guy. Met his wife, met his daughter, and then that's how the weekend started. After that, it's like I said, I'm Portuguese. I started going around and meeting everyone I met. Sleeping, I see you in there sleeping. I showed up to your photo shoot hungover. I'm sorry. And then I met everybody, Dino and all these other guys, and it was just such a great time. The superstars, and it's exactly how you would picture these type of events to be. Everyone was cool. Everyone was calm. You guys all had something that was in common. I'm sure there was a lot of people in the chats that I deal with now that I didn't get to meet there, because once you go there, it's kind of like you have to really pick your lane and when you want to hang out with, because everyone's just doing all kinds of stuff. And it was just a bunch of fun. I'm sure when you guys went to Fan Expo, you guys had a great time, nothing but camaraderie. And, that's what we're looking forward to in Vegas. We're going to Vegas. We want to do that again. And we're mainly going just to hang out with all you guys that decide to go to Vegas. Kid Arcade is going to throw that party. I can't wait to meet Steve for the first time. We had Steve on the channel. I'm going to sing karaoke, karaoke with Steve. And it's just going to be a great time. D, add to this.
Yeah, I mean, I only found out like a couple months ago, I think. Like a few of the people that's actually in the chats, they're like, "Oh yeah, I was at Anaheim in 2022." I'm like, "What?" But that was before we really put ourselves out there and actually got to know who these people are. So I'm like, okay, I might have seen you in passing, but I just didn't know who you were at the time. But now that we've talked story, had conversations, you've seen my face. It's like now we can, when we do meet in like real life, it's like like you said, it'll be like we've known each other for so long, right? Because we've had this relationship over the internet. um
So
feeling
it's so funny. Like I heard you talking about like karaoke, and it's so funny. And listening to these guys like Arcade and even Biggest Bro, I've picked up
Mhm.
so much slang vocabulary that I had no idea about. Right? It's so funny, right? So like you
Yeah.
gotta keep it 100, keep it 100, right?
Yeah.
Facts, man, facts, right? And 420, 420. Let me look at that. Oh, okay. So
420 gate. Yep.
yeah, there's a big education going on there. So it's I love it, right? I love just seeing the energy that different people bring. I mean, it's just like fantastic, right? So kudos to you guys and all the other creators that are still like plugging away. They love it. They love the community. They love what they can giving back, and that's that's part of something that's resonates a lot with me as well too. Like we'd like to kind of give back as much as we can, and
Yeah.
it's good to see we get inspired by people like you and others that are out there in the community that are doing the exact same thing. So kudos, thank you so much, and I appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think we all kind of learn from each other, and when we see other people like giving back, it makes you want to give back, not for like any kind of not for like a show and have people like, oh yeah, they give back all the time kind of thing. It's like we like to do that because it's fun and like just to see people happy. I mean, even if it's like a comic book or like an NFT you just send someone online, it's like it's cool to have something, right? And especially if it's something that they it resonates back to like their childhood. What Hinano mentioned, nostalgia respark. It's like it has that good feeling, and that's kind of like what we try to bring to others,
Okay,
and what others bring to us. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna show you some of my loot in terms of that nostalgia. Let me see, so I can
Yes.
start things out. Give me a second here, right?
Yeah.
This is my big purchase from that show. I think Dee's already seen this out of Hinano.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see.
Woohoo.
I've been looking for this for a long time, but
You're gonna have to blow him up, Hinano, if you can. Nice.
No way, dude. That is rad. Look at that.
And it's so shiny.
Wow.
right,
That is
there you
cool.
go. So official,
Okay,
man. Official.
Where did
right?
you get that from, man?
From the mines of Moria? I traveled with Frodo and
Let's go.
That is so
Dude,
cool.
that is so cool, man.
it's all good. So it's not sharp yet, right? So I saw Knobs kind of saying that, what are you gonna do with Swords in Canada? Come and find out, man. Yeah,
That
it's
is so
great.
cool.
Right?
Butter on toast. Come on.
Yeah.
Take that in
It's
the
all good, right?
shower. Stop.
Not quite like this. Not quite like
Don't
this.
slip on the sword.
We're having them the psycho days, right?
So how long were you looking for that?
You know what? So this is the thing. So going back to a point. So look, when we were younger, toys were cool, but like you couldn't get the same fidelity in terms of the likenesses or the quality or the just like having so many joints to make them as posable as you can get them today, right?
Mhm.
So as I said, we're in the perfect market that people can make high-end stuff and we'll buy it because we appreciate it, because like you said, there's that nostalgia factor. It brings you back to a happier time, and if you love that fandom, you'll go for it, right? So like I spent probably like maybe like $150. I got like a deal on this, but like it's well worth it for me to have something like this that I really will treasure for pretty much forever, right? So I mean, this ain't going nowhere for sure. But it's like I said, there's so many other things. Like I have a bunch of Transformers. I have this like Omega Supreme that's like like 3 feet.
No way.
3 feet, but not. That's like huge, right? So it's
Yeah.
yeah. So like the quality of these things are just like incredible. So so you're right. You gotta, when you go to those shows, put away your wallet. Hide your ATM. just set a strict kind of like limit, and then see what happens, right? So
I'm bad. Okay, so like this is
makes
how
it lit.
bad I am. I literally go to an LCS and I bring a short box with me with the intent to fill it up. That's how bad I am. So
Yeah.
it
So you
didn't
make
drop,
it
did it?
No, 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 no. No, that's just okay. Okay, do you want to show? That's just my small sword, right? Let me show you one or two more. Let's see.
Oh, that was a small sword.
That's the small sword. He's right.
This is my beautiful sword, whatever it is.
Okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna blow you up again. Here we go.
Okay, so this is a replica from Elven sword from Lord of the Rings, right?
Oh,
So
cool.
I think it's Sword of Arwen,
Dude.
right? So it's got even the writing as it's going across there, right? So Elven writing that's there.
Yeah. Wow.
And this is actually very sharp at the end, right? So it's got beautiful
Dang.
display. So I love stuff like this, right? Prop swords. So there's this one, and look, I love the curve of that too, right? The way it's balanced, like almost like an S shape. It's kind of fantastic. I love that, right? And then I'll show you one more. Let's see, my last one, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. That's insane.
Suppose that an axe. Whoa!
Oh,
It almost looks like Jon Snow's sword.
I know.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
Game
like
of Thrones.
This is a proper like broadsword, kind of like a Braveheart type of thing, right? So this is also from Lord of the Rings that when they reforged that Narsil, whatever, the shards into the sword of Aragorn, right? So
Dude.
definitely, I love those movies. I'm into that stuff for sure, right? And even this has like the writing that's there as you go across, right? So
Oh,
it's
that's
prop
so
swords.
cool.
Yeah.
How heavy is that? Is it?
This is heavy, man. This is heavy. Like
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know how you say it. Like I don't know if you have like kilograms and stuff. That maybe like 20 pounds, something like that.
Whoa, it's like a bag of rice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
heavy.
for sure,
20
for
pounds.
sure. So yeah. So like Halloween time, I'm gonna be strapping this on, going around right with the kids.
Whoa, that's cool.
Mahalo has a question for you. Do you have a, how do you say that? Masamune?
Mazmoon.
Mazmoon.
Yeah. I don't, but I've seen tons of them at those shows. I got a picture of my. Okay, that's a greasy, right? So yeah, I have a picture with my son with the cloud sword from Final Fantasy VII. Some guy made like a massive, huge thing. It's like probably the same sort of size as that one, but I guess it's incredible how they make those cosplayers out of the foam and 3D printing. Just fantastic, right? So
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. But I'd love to get some true, authentic like a samurai sword. Like I need to get like the whole armor. I need to just like stand in front of kneeling and like bow like meditate to like Master Splinter.
I think Mission might have one of those. Doesn't Mission have like a samurai dude in the back of his background?
Probably.
Yeah. What do you call him? Homie?
Like big, like what is that? A Big Trouble in Little China type of
Yeah.
deal. You know what I mean?
He's got the whole armor. Yeah. That's so cool, man.
Man, all I had was a comic book. I got no swords over here. You know what I mean? Let me see what I got here. It's like,
We don't have any
where's
swords.
our Hawaiian relics?
We have lightsabers.
Hawaiian
Nice,
massage
nice.
stick. You want to see that? Oh man, that was cool. That was cool. Now the only thing I really have to show is like I basically have this tiny little thing. I'm trying to get it out here of my favorite Star Trek spaceship right here, which is you know what I mean? Like I don't know if you have seen Picard season 3. Have you watched it? How did you like that, by the way, as a Trekkie? Because I'm a big Trekkie. Did you like it?
It's a very nostalgic show. So say what you want about the other seasons. This one was all about the old crew, kind of like of the Enterprise, and they brought back so many, I guess, Easter eggs and things of that nature. So I thought it was very well done. Fantastic way, like if that was like that could have been like a series finale type of thing, right? So like a really long drawn out thing that was well thought out, well played, I thought. So if you're a fan of Star Trek and especially of Next Generation, there's I can't say no way you could be upset with it, but I think most people would be very, very happy with it, right? I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet.
No, I have.
Oh,
I just
you have? Okay.
Yes, that's so. That by far that's the only thing on TV Trek wise that I actually find real Trek for me, because I grew up in the Rick Berman era, so TNG, DS9, Voyager, and all that stuff, and even Enterprise. But like that right there for me was kind of like the swan song, because I watched Nemesis and I wasn't very happy with that, and that was like their very last movie, right? That was their sunset movie. So I found out that the executive producer used to actually work on the executive producer of season 3 of Picard worked on TNG. I guess through the last 3 or 4 seasons. Terry, what is the guy's
Oh,
name? D. Terry
Metalis.
Metalis, yes. And
Mhm.
so he actually went against all of the executives, and he decided to do his own thing. And his thing was he wanted to do a true series finale for TNG, like but a movie type of thing, right? Because they already had a series finale. They really wanted to make sure that they did a good swan song for the TNG crew. So that's the reason why that it had a different tone, different type of style. To
Mm.
me, that is the best Trek I've seen in years. And so, like, I teared up. I'm not gonna lie,
Mhm.
I teared up when I saw the Enterprise D. I'm like, oh my gosh, because it brought back my
Yeah,
childhood. I literally used to
yeah.
watch TNG every Wednesday nights in Hawaii, and then they would have all the replays on PBS. I used to watch all of that. Four lights, right? So, I mean, man, I think it's just a lot of fun to like to get back into like the old nostalgia days and to remember your childhood. D, what about you?
Yeah, the same. I mean, just not too long ago, we watched the rerun. Well, not reruns. Replays of with our daughter. What did we watch? Oh, the Wrath of Khan. And
Mhm.
she like
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed that Wrath of Khan and the Search for Spock. So that was
well you
that
got to
was
watch all
really cool.
three. Those That's like one
Yeah.
big
Mhm.
movie in my opinion. You got Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and The Voyage Home. And I didn't think she would watch it, man, because it's very old '80s, right? And I thought, oh, this is
Mm.
boring, Dad. Look at the special effects. It's so stupid, right? Like she caught it, right? Whenever like Spock's about to die, you see a little gap between the plexiglass between her and Kirk, or him and Kirk, and it's just like, is there a gap, Dad? How are they not getting dead
Like
from like
radiation.
from radiation?
So do you know Khan? Like Khan is based on like on a Sikh as well. His name is like Khan
Oh,
Munyan Singh. So he's actually a Singh. So
Mm,
they knew.
right.
So that's based on our team, right? The ultimate bad guy.
interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't put that together until now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's right. That's
interesting.
right. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she loved it. She loved the trilogy. And yeah, she wanted to sit through the whole thing. I think we spent one Saturday and went through all the movies. And now
Mm.
she's on
Mm.
a Captain Kirk thing now because Picard like was her favorite, right? So like, but like just to kind of share that type of nostalgia with my daughter, and then kind of relive it through her eyes. I really love that, and I love the fact that I kids of this age is open to seeing the stuff that we grew up on, because I think the stuff that we grew up on really kind of set the tone of the type of adult that we turned out to be. At least in my case, anyway. I don't know about yours. What do you think about that,
Yeah.
DDS?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, morality is, set when we're like a lot younger. So, I mean, you see the, battle of good versus evil, like it gets set when you're a lot younger. Now, that being said, as you grow up, of course, you see things are more like a shade of gray, right? So, but you
Yeah.
have to have that base, that foundation to really make your decision. So, I saw an evolution even in, for me, as shows went on, like, you have certainly more simplistic shows like GI Joe, Transformers, and stuff. But then I like those shows where then you kind of evolve into X Men, where you could see, like, for example, Magneto. In a way, he's not merciful necessarily, but he had a kind of a point. Like, he's a Holocaust survivor. Like, he's fighting for really the rights of his own people. So the best
Mm.
villains are the ones that do, have somewhat of a point, even though they're maybe more brutal, or maybe they're going over the edge a little bit, right? So you see those type of things, and then I thought one of the most I don't know about cartoons, like if you guys watched Gargoyles from Disney from back in the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's her favorite.
Yes.
It's
it's
her
that.
favorite.
I think it's one of my favorite cartoons as well too. It's so nuanced. Like there's so many kind of like stories from Shakespeare, like Macbeth, like so fascinating. Like how they draw in all these different stories and kind of ideologies of bringing stories from all around the world, from Native American culture, from African Anansi spider type of stuff. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if they did anything from Hawaii, but like they should have, like maybe next round, whatever it is,
Moana.
right?
So-
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So all these things are going to shape you, and so it's a journey, and it's like you said. I love that the kids are getting to a point now, even where I can kind of show them certain things that which I like, and then they start to understand now, right? So maybe not necessarily before, but it's a journey. I love it, right? Like just to see that it's an evolution, because you're always going to be evolving, right? So even the kids are evolving as well. So you have to respect also their kind of stuff, because some stuff they're not going to get, and if you do get something that you can connect with them on, cherish that, because it won't be everything, right? I've had two boys of my own, and we don't connect on every single thing, right? Because I don't think they have the same attention span as we do right now, right? So, but like when you get something, I just like grab onto that, right? And I love it, right? So that's why I took my boys to the convention, and when my older one was young, he loved meeting all the kind of like cosplayers. Like there's like a guy dressed like Galactus. And, whoa, who's this? And then you can introduce him. Well, this is the Eater of Worlds. Like he's that. You can read about this. And, so on and so forth. You saw Groot, like this giant Groot walking around. Like they love stuff like that, right? And then it excites them, and it's a doorway. It's a doorway, right, into just getting them interested in these things, for sure.
And it's an escape, kind of like, kind of what I said earlier. Like, there's a bunch of characters that resonated with me. I want to tell a little story. I've said it before in passing or anything like that, but we had a yard sale a few months ago, and my daughter's classmate showed up. He was one of the last customers that D had out there before it started closing shop. So I took a white box down there, and I just had like some comics that, there's a couple of spine ticks here or there, and I was selling them for like 35 cents to 50 cents. And so my dad comes and like he's a wheeling and dealing type of yard sale guy. He's trying to get D for everything. I said, sell everything for a quarter. Get it out of here. You know what I mean? But except the comic books, he wouldn't spend 25 cents, 35 cents, 50 cents on a comic book. And the kid really wanted a comic book. And throughout the day, people were sifting in there and, buying things. They were buying like Spider-Man, I had Batman in there. Heck, I even threw in like the Green Hornet and stuff like that, and Hellboy. Those all went. But no one touched Thor. Nobody wanted those Thor comics. And I said, okay, well, nobody loves Thor. I mean, I'm not a fan of Thor either, but that's okay. And then this kid just like, he's like, oh, like I love the Thor comics. I tell you what, if you can't buy any comics, just take 20 in there for free. Grab whatever you want. And so he went in there, he started sifting everything. He grabbed all the Thor comics. And I said, do you have like a brother or sister? Yeah. I'm like, oh, grab more. So then I have him grab 35 comics. And he took the rest of the Thors. I said, is this for you or is this for your friends? It's like, well, they'll like it. They'll like it. And over here they call us uncle, right? So like, yeah, well, thank you, uncle. And he took it all. And he told me how much he loves Thor. Loki. He loved the Loki series. He was telling me about all the Thor movies that he loved the most. Apparently he likes the number 2 movie, which is like the worst one out there for everybody else. I actually like that one too. But that made me so happy to see this kid be happy. And the only requirement I told this kid is, you have to promise me you read it, and my daughter will make sure that she knows that you read it, right? And sure enough, he told my daughter, like I think what was like the next week, right?
Yeah.
She came and told us, Dad, I just want to let you know so and so said he read all the books, and he can't wait for the next yard sale, and if he comes, can you have some more free books? I'm like, yeah. Anytime these kids want to like indulge in this hobby, I don't mind giving it away for free, because then maybe they need that outlet that I needed as a kid. You know what I mean? Maybe they needed to find themselves. And like I said, I found myself in like comic books, in like the real Ghostbusters and 80s cartoons. That's where I was able to find myself. And so if by giving free comics to this kid and like stimulate his mind in this type of fandom, I'm all for it. What do you think about that, D?
No, 100%. Anything, what we can do to help the kids, especially to read and get over their fears, or just have an escape for themselves. Maybe they're going through some stuff at home or at school, and they have all they have is the comic book to kind of escape for however long the book is, and then maybe take that to help them throughout their lives. But yeah, I mean, it made me happy to see him get all those books, and he was like seriously like beaming, like, oh my gosh, it was like jackpot. And then he got like other free stuff from our daughter for his sister. And like the dad ended up FaceTiming the sister to show her like all the girly stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh. Because I think it was like her birthday either the week after or like a few days after our sale. And so that was like part of her like birthday gifts was she got all these other like cool stuff from her daughter. So yeah, it just like ended up like on our garage sale ended up on a really good note at the end of the day, just to see like, you know, kids will appreciate this, you know, and have that help them and be happy at least for, you know, a little bit. So that
Yeah, and
was,
I
yeah, that was cool to see.
remember when I told him, okay, just so you know, these comic books are Wi-Fi proof. They're not gonna disappear if the internet goes out. Just saying. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So
Yeah, but dude, I don't know what you're talking about with Thor, man. Thor's awesome, man. I love the old English. Verily shall the God of thunder smite thee with thine own. Whatever I was going to say. I love that type of stuff, right? So
I mean, not my bag, but I mean, yeah, he is a very powerful dude. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
definitely would
you know,
slap Batman down on his side. That's
yeah.
for sure.
But I'll agree. So look, I was I know a lot of people like the Marvel characters more grounded, down to earth. I was definitely not into like the Daredevil and the street level guys. I
Don't
like
let Chris
big
let you
power.
hear that, man.
Yeah. Hey, different strokes as well. So I'm actually a pretty big DC fan, way much more so than Marvel, right?
Yes.
And I'm so sad that DC fell so behind and their movies didn't do that great. It's
I
like a
know.
tragedy
Yeah.
for me. Like it's like, oh man, and I
Yeah.
don't even think they're like even half as bad as people make out.
They're
But
not.
yeah. It's like a whatever. Like Martha will be like the condemned word for the rest of our lives. Martha. when
Hey,
you hear the reasoning behind that, I think it's like profound. It makes perfect sense to me. But I'm the kind of person. My wife hates this. She's like, you only think it's okay because you go afterwards and you're reading about the reviews online and what was the meaning behind this and this, that was the significance. Like, same thing
you
with Game
finding
of
the
Thrones.
context.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jon Snow is so and so because of this history and this plus this equals this person, whatever it is. So yeah, I like to do that because I do go back and do the research because I have an interest in it, right?
Mhm.
And I find so okay. You've watched the Harry Potter movies, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the books? I don't know if you
No,
have.
I'm not a fan of
Um,
Harry Potter.
I've
Okay,
read
fair enough. Fair enough.
until
Fair enough.
the fourth one, and then I
Okay.
stopped.
So, if you had read the book, would you say that what would you say is better, the book or the movie? It's just interesting to see.
Um. Okay, so because I read the books when I was in middle school, so that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
um,
Okay.
and for me, like when I read a book and then I see the movie, I'm always like imagining it. I want the movie to be like how the book was written.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think for me, like 1 through 3 were good, the movie and the books. That I like them like
So
both.
I agree with the Adam and Biggest Bro. Like I've seen their comments here. So the books themselves, they go into so much more detail, and it's all about like,
Yeah.
as Hinano was saying, it's context. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are things in the movie that it's not really explained well. You don't understand the history of even, for example, they have that Marauders map, right? And people say, oh, it's just a map they found. It's not explained that Harry's dad with his three friends kind of like created that map, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they could kind of like track the werewolf or Lupin's or kind of movements. So like there's so much that's missing from the movies that if
Yeah.
you read the books, it's so much more richer, right? So that's the richness that you get from reading and the experience that you get there, right? So movies, I don't think you can get that same experience, right? So the
Yeah.
where I've seen it like maybe the opposite is Lord of the Rings, because I've read those books and they are dense, right? There's like describing every single rock you found along the path and the fungus that was there and the bacteria which was underlying the fungus and like it can become tedious. It's great, but like the movies I thought did a great job. I prefer the movies over the books, right? But
Okay.
in most cases, it's definitely the opposite for sure.
And those
Yeah.
movies were very long. Like I remember that. I'm sorry, D,
A lot of
for cutting you
walking.
off. Yeah, lot of walking, but like just to kind of like generalized movies, like it's mainly a 2 hour escape, right? And just to see these characters come out of the page and onto the big screen is awesome if they do it right, or at least do
Mhm.
some of it justice. You're never going to get the whole thing. There's
Yeah.
lots of movies out there where I can really depict where, like, okay, well, I did read some of these books and like, or the comic books, and this is definitely taken out of context. You know what I mean? Like, some of the Fantastic Four movies, but it's still a good time, still good fun, and I really miss, or I really wish the Zack Snyder verse could have continued. I was all for it. I know Man of Steel was a little bit of a slow burn, and they had some missteps there.
100%.
Context, the studio got involved with a lot of it, which kind of like screwed things up. Movies as well, you got to have a certain runtime, so they're going to cut and chop it up so you can fit that runtime, because they want to get butts in the seats, right? Every 2 hours or whatever, they want to like rotate people in and out of those movie theaters. So a lot of meddling sometimes screws up whatever the director or the executive producer is actually trying to like emanate on screen. And that's why I love director's cuts. So have you seen the Snyder cut of the Justice League versus the regular cut that Joss Whedon did, which I think just was a terrible version of the movie? Did you see them both?
It's
I
4 hours.
I love the director's cut. I thought it's one of the better movies I've seen in a while. Like, if you're a fan of
Yes.
DC, when you watch that, like you see the battle when Darkseid comes to Earth, and all these type of things, and just it's so fantastic. It's like you get giddy, man, just watching that type of stuff. It's so much better, like so much. It just like flowed so much better. 100% agree with you, right? When you see that vision all the way through, it makes such a difference.
It's a completely different movie. If you look at the original crap that I'm going to say it's crap. Joss Whedon just butchered the first movie. But if you go and watch the Snyderverse, and yes, some people don't like his slow motions and all that stuff. I'm sorry, Tails, I know. But like just the overall format of the movie, you get to know the characters a little bit more. I love that scene with Barry Allen when he rescues what's her face? What's her name? I'm drawing a blank already. But he rescues her from the scene right there where she almost gets banged by a car, and then you hear
Iris.
I believe it's Rose Bess or something. There was like a really, it's like a song you would never think would play in the background. I'm a big fan of like soundtracks, right? I really wish I could live my own soundtrack. If you go walk outside your door, DDS, and have a soundtrack of something badass, like It's a Beautiful Morning when you're walking in your car, that would be really cool. But like just to have that background music in there, it really fit the scene. And I really like how Snyder really takes his time to like paint a scene from end to end. It's kind of like panel to panel to panel. He's going for the movies. I really love the Justice League Snyderverse. I know some people didn't like it, and I really wish they could have continued with it, because I wanted to see what happened with Darkseid and everything else, and we'll never ever get to see it. Never.
The ideas in that, when I read a bit about that, they're going to be like, I think they would have been fantastic. They would have explored that kind of like alternate reality where Superman is controlled by Darkseid and the anti-life equation, all these type of things, and how that would have evolved, and had the Joker kind of like there as well. And then by the third movie, I guess he comes back online. Then this is a big fight against Darkseid at the end. It would have been. They have endless opportunities now, because now they've introduced these the multiverse concept, right? So with multiverse, everything's fair game. Anything can be anything, right? So yeah, soundtracks. Yeah, and I agree with that. So I don't know about you guys back in the day, with like Napster and these type of things. I don't know if you used to like get all those.
John Williams, Jurassic Park, man.
Yeah, man, 100%. Titanic, yeah, dude. Like I have so many viruses. Probably still on my computer from that thing.
Morpheus.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But I loved it. I used to get that. When you go to the movies that first time and they play like the Dolby.
Yes, THX.
Yeah, THX. Yes, I used to play. I used to put that track before every single CD I burned, right? And then have the rest of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
Burning CDs, yes.
Back in my heydays, I used to video edit. Shocker. And we used to use VCRs. For the kids in the back of the room that don't know what that is, it's pretty much a really big, player that you put a tape in, and it was about the size, I guess, maybe this size, but like thin, right? And you put it inside it's like a CD player, but you put a cassette tape, a VHS tape in it. And man, I just remember that where was I going with this? I just lost it already. So, um,
Soundtracks.
oh no, no,
Or
no! I used to
burning things.
no, I was editing video. I was editing
Oh,
video,
editing,
and
yeah.
I used to use that THX intro, and I used to
Mhm.
cut it at every single movie I made because I was a part of a paintball team, and I had one of those big VHS cameras. We still have that one, the VHS recorder. It was a Panasonic, and I used to film all of our paintball leagues, all of our games, and I used to make these paintball videos, and we used to send it out to all these paintball shops out in the Hawaii to invite people to come and have tournaments on our island. And it was a free video, and it was basically our journey of our. It's actually on YouTube. I have it actually private because it doxes me way too much, but it's a really cool movie put together. And all of those paintball movies, you'd hear with the THX in the beginning and the helicopter and the big screen movie, and then you get to the big screen right there and it says THX and digital whatever, right, Dolby sound and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
So
no, I love soundtracks. Like I love all the instruments there. Like I don't know if you guys play any musical instruments yourself. Do you play anything?
So I played piano, guitar, and the ukulele. But then I've kind of it's a love-hate relationship. So I haven't touched my instruments in a while. They're collecting dust in the closet. It's kind of something I was trying to like hide. You know, there's a lot of things people don't know about me in terms of like my past and what I used to do. But yeah, I used to play music, used to sing, used to be a part of my childhood all the way until a certain age. And then things happen and you have a love-hate relationship. What about you?
Yeah, you know what? We have to jam, man. So
Yeah.
I'm the master of the tuba.
What?
Yes. Wow.
So my story is this. I was sick away the day, like when I guess they in our school back when they used to still have kids playing musical instruments, you had to select your instruments. So I was away, and I come back the next day, and it's like, yeah, you get the only one that's left. That's a tuba. This like huge, gigantic monstrosity. And dude, like I used to have to take that thing home. So they when you walk home,
Because it's huge hand struck.
Dude, they had like a huge platform that they had built with like brackets on it so that you turn the case of the tuba upside down, you put it on there, and it had a little rope. I'm like wheeling it down the street.
rope?
I'm not even joking. It's so embarrassing. It's so ridiculous, right?
With the squeaky wheels.
Like right at the time, like, oh my
You need
god.
a red wagon.
Yeah, it's oh my god. So that's my torture from those days. But I am actually quite good at that. Like we have our high school up till grade 13, or we did before. Now it's up till grade 12, but I played up till those high levels, and I played in concert bands, like in the city, this that. So I love that type of stuff. So I hey, I like classical music. I like like I'll take anything, like whatever. I like my rock. I like my Eminem, whatever it is, like my Wu-Tang, whatever it is. Like everything's fair game, right? It's all good.
Variety.
And then the other thing I do play, which I was seeing with their soundtrack, which would go well, is I play those Indian drums, right? The tabla. And I can even do like a kind of like we have our harmonium, which
Like
is
Battlestar Galactica kind of drums?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'll have to play. I'll have to let you know for one day.
It's a great soundtrack,
So,
Battlestar Galactica.
yeah,
So I got a similar tale about drums. So besides playing music, I also used to be a part of a Tahitian troupe, and I used to drum. I was one of the drummers because I wasn't really into dancing. Because here in Hawaii, there's male dancers, and it's okay. You know what I mean? I know it's 2024, but back then, it was actually a prideful thing to perpetuate your culture by dancing in certain competitions or certain protocols or rituals of some sort. But for me, the Tahitian part of me, I played. And so I played a toere, which was basically, it's like a size of a log and it's bored out in the center. So it kind of looks like a toaster entrance in the center. And then you used to play with a toere stick. And so you'd be a lead drummer for that. And you would play for all the Tahitian dancers. Or you would play what we call a fakete, which is pretty much kind of like a drummer guy's thing, like a drummer boy's drummer, right? But it's got like, shark skin on the top. And it's also bored out with some Milo wood or different types of wood as well. And that was my favorite instrument to play. And I used to have different faketes, and I used to just drum like crazy. There are certain beats that you drum that are certain protocols for certain dances.
That's awesome.
And so I was a part of a bunch of Tahiti Fets, as we call it, which is kind of like a competition for dancers. And so we used to have people come from Tahiti, California, different parts of the islands. We'd meet up on an island called Kauai, and we'd have this massive Tahiti Fet. our Tahitian group, and I loved it, right? Because all the this is before D, right?
Dancers.
A
Yeah.
lot of the dancers, right? So like
Yeah.
and they all love drummers because they can't do anything without a drummer. A dancer can dance until you have to get a drummer to actually drum for you. So like they always
The
we were
beat. Yeah.
quarterbacks. We were the quarterbacks of the Tahiti Fest, and I've met all kinds of people, and it was just a great time. And yeah, I kind of gave that up as well. I'm hoping our newly son comes and he can perpetuate the culture for me and continue on our legacy with that way. What about you, D? You got any musical instruments or anything similar to DDS and I?
Well, I can play the piano. I did take lessons when I was younger, and like how to read music and stuff. And then I quit that when I moved up to where we live now. But like in high school, I was in choir and in church too. I was in ensemble in high school, so we did a lot of singing for like events and stuff at the high school. But other than that, like cultural wise, I know some of the dances like from back home, but like when I was back home, it didn't really interest me to learn that. I was just more into like playing outside and getting in trouble and stuff until I came here to Hawaii, and they actually had like in another town here on the island, they had what we call Yap Day, which is basically like back home. It's like a whole week of just celebration. I guess kind of like our Independence Day kind of thing, but it was like a whole week. So I took Hinano to this Yap Day event. And we had the cultural traditional food.
We had to wheel all the stone money down the hill and not get run over with our feet. No, I'm kidding.
There's no stone money. Yeah, the girls and some of the guys were dressed in like the cultural garb of the grass skirt and what we call the thu is what the guy wears, which is like just a loincloth on the bottom. Yeah. And so Hinano got exposed to a little bit of my culture. But like watching them dance and stuff, I was like, oh, I guess I kind of wish like I took more time when I was younger to learn that part of my culture. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, according so I guess I did do some of those dances and sang a bunch of stuff like for cultural aspect. But as far as instruments, just the piano. And I did try to learn like the ukulele. He was trying to teach me, but I don't know. It's just maybe my fingers aren't like coordinated to go up and down the.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So hey, we're gonna have a jam session, so you can be our backup singer, or or star singer, or whatever it is, right? So there you go, right?
Yeah.
So.
I need to get back into it. So like, yeah, I'm glad you brought this topic up because it's something I don't really talk about. But music has been a big part of my life throughout ever since I was a baby. And my parents live with me. My dad's a musician, so every single morning we hear acoustic guitar in the morning, and I love it. You know what I mean? That for me, like having music in my life has always been a calming thing. In high school, I was a part of a band, and so I live in what we call the cold country. And so the lead band singer lived out in the boonies where he needs like a generator. And this is before solar or anything like that. And that's where we used to actually have our band practice. We used to drive all the way out to like the outskirts of like dirt road. We call it Mud Lane. And he'd fire up the generator and we practice out there and we'd have a good time. We didn't really perform any extravagant places like birthdays and like baby luau's, and basically birthdays and baby luau's are pretty huge here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The local people here just likes to celebrate for every single thing. So it was fun. It was a nice outlet. I was a part of ensembles. I got kicked out of band. I won't say why I got kicked out of band, but let's just say I got kicked out of band. When I moved out of my house, my ukulele went with me everywhere. Yeah, I have a kamaka that like traveled. I don't know if you know what a kamaka is. It's like one of the most famous ukulele brands out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful sound.
Yeah, it's like the Gibson of ukuleles. And so that traveled with me to California, traveled back here. When I moved in with my roommate, then this is right before I met D. I lived with this Peruvian guy, and I got him into the ukulele. They went and bought all these cheap ukuleles from Costco because you can buy an ukulele for like $80 from Costco. And I like to call it the beach ukulele, where you can just throw it in the back of your car and not give a shit about
Yeah.
it or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Versus your
yeah.
kamaka, it's like pristine and beautiful, and you don't want to like scratch or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we started our own ukulele troupe. Remember, D, we used to practice
Mhm.
every Wednesday nights, and I
Yeah,
remember
that's fun.
our neighbor loved us until we moved. The day we moved, my neighbor came and gave me a big hug, and she says, "We're not going to hear any of your music." Because I had a lanai outside of my room that I used to play like early in the morning. I used to play music like 5 in the morning. And here in Hawaii, people would not get upset with you back then because they just loved the sound of the ukulele.
Yeah.
But things happen, and I had a little incident to where I kind of put the instrument down. I couldn't touch it anymore. I lost
Mm.
I lost some motivation in it. I couldn't really get creative anymore because I'm a person that doesn't really like to read uh, notes. I don't like to read things. I like to hear things. I'm more of a person
Mhm.
that hears sound. And so that's how I would tune my ukulele. Whenever I would play with anybody, I would never look at any of their technical documents, as I like to call it. I just say, just start playing. And then I'll jump in. You know what I mean? Oh, you're playing in C. Okay, I got it. I tuned to
Yeah,
C
just
or something
riffing and
like that.
jamming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
start jamming, right? Jump in and then add things to it, right? Have fun with it. So, and I miss those days. I grew up a lot with music. I don't really talk about it, but I appreciate you bringing it up because we're talking about it
No,
now.
100%. Look, I think music is like technology. It's like a universal thing, right? So even for in our culture, like even we have our holy scripture, right? It's actually written in measures of music. So our kind of like verses, they're meant to be sung, right? So the message is there, but that adds a different flavor, and it can give you the motion of of happiness, kind of like celebration, even like a kind of like we have this thing like berog, like a feeling of separation, like wistfulness, almost like you know what I mean. It creates some different
Mm.
emotions in you. So I think it is like technology for sure, right? So I mean, and it's very profound. It's in every single culture, right? So one way or the other. So yeah, whatever we can learn from these things, and it's another creative outlet. So 100%, right? So yeah, so I'm just going to step away for just 1 second quickly and
Yeah,
let you like
Yeah.
maybe go ahead and do your thing. I'll be right back, right?
no
Yeah.
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
no
No
problem.
problem.
Intermission, you're good, man. So, yeah, so to kind of like hone in on the audience about the music, so that I want to say that was what helped me win Dee's heart. That's the one thing that I did love about music, because in a way, music's like a drug. You know what I mean? It's a powerful drug for positivity, to make people happy. It pretty much kind of like, it's a mesmerizing thing, I like to say. So I remember when I used to go to all these parties, we call it, we bust out. We basically bring out, but in Hawaii we call it, we'll bust out our ukuleles and we'll start jamming something. We'll just start
Jamming.
playing music.
Jam sesh.
And sooner or later, when you're playing music, like you could be out to the side, or maybe you're at a campfire and no one's around you. You could start playing music. Next thing you know, you'd see a pop-up chair come out. You see someone else come out. Next thing you know, we have a bunch of people around you. You didn't fall down, did you, man?
Oh no! Watch the swords, man. They're pretty sharp.
Yeah. But I remember D, when we used to like do camping, I just play
Yeah.
music. All of a sudden we'd attract a crowd, and then we start singing something, right? And I used to actually write my own songs, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was
So
fun. Oh my goodness! Watch, he's gonna come out with this big,
let's go.
nice. Oh, he's got it set up.
There you
Ooh,
go.
get
Right?
light.
All right, we're gonna
Jam
solo
sesh.
you, my friend. Let's go.
No, I don't know about solo, man, but like I heard you playing whatever you were doing before. So these are like this. You got. Can you hear this?
Ooh, yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
beautiful.
I don't know if it's coming through, right? So
Yeah.
I saw your theme song. So it's just a chill where I was like. So that's just like my little thing, whatever it is.
That's so cool.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. You can definitely drum with the Tahitians. Let's go, man. That's
So what are
so
those called? Sorry, that
I'm
type
sorry?
of drum? What is that
Yeah,
type of drum called?
So this is called the tabla, Tabla. So we have our harmonium, which we kind of like. It's almost like an accordion, kind of like a piano, but it's only played with one hand, and the other one has. I guess you pump it for air, right? So this is just to give it the beat, right? So yeah, so it's something we've had music in our background. I'm like you, so I've never been trained on this, but I do have rhythm, and I can read music from I guess our band stuff and our kind of like a brass instruments. But if you have that kind of like rhythm, you can pick up anything, and if you have an interest, so do what you got to do, right? So
That's cool.
That's similar to the pahu drum that we have here. And it exactly, you can have like maybe one or two. It's not accentuated as much as that. It's more of like to keep like a bass line type of thing. Versus like the fakete drum is exactly what you did, but instead of using your hands, you're actually using sticks, right?
okay,
So and so what you'll do is you'll have like maybe you can have one. What I used to do is I used to have a pahu drum, and then I had like 3 or 4, and they all had different sounds from low to high tone. And then depending on the beats, depending on the language the dancer's trying to do, because the dancer's trying to tell a story. So while the dancer's telling a story, then you have to have the specific beat to accentuate that story so that it matches whenever the dancer moves his or her hands and all that stuff and moves it all over the place. And wow, man, that's pretty cool. And the audience seemed to love that too. What do you think about that, D? Damn.
No, the smaller drum, I love the sound of that. When I hear it, it reminds me of like I'm just gonna like Indian music. Where it's like
that's
it's beautiful.
that's the same thing that they're using there too, right? So
that's so cool. Oh my gosh, yeah, you're gonna have to bring your ukulele and then meet up with DDS with his drums and his tuba, and I'll be singing in the background.
I tell you what, you come to Vegas, I will dust off the ukulele. We'll have a jam session.
There you go. I don't know if I'm kidding around these guys, but like God knows, like I know some people in Vegas. I can make something happen.
Yeah. Well, they probably have like the street musicians on the corners or something. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Probably go and play with them in the Vegas.
There you go. Like make some money for for our habits, right?
So do you drum for like something similar? Like, do you guys do it for like culture? Is there something similar in the culture where like you're telling a story through music and also hand motions? Is that like similar?
So not really through hand motions for us. It's really, like I said, our scriptures are meant to be sung. So they're a musical measure called rags, right? So these rags, R-A-A-G, they're meant to stimulate certain emotions and things of that nature, right? So, if we're talking about like, of course, if we're talking about the creator or something like that, and then there'll be like verses sung about the creator and their greatness or whatever's going on there too, right? So then this is just the accompaniment to that, right? So there'll be the singer who's singing and they're using the harmonium to kind of sing the praises, right? And that's kind of like an accompaniment to kind of set the beat as they're going, because you can have different things, right? So there's like 4 times, like 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4, but it's like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, or like there's 7 beats, there's 14 beats. It's like all different kinds of things. So it's all different ways to create a different, I guess, variety, right, and a different interest and a different way of, different
accentuating the sounds depending on.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Wow, that's FA Drums on the podcast.
Hey,
let's freaking go right here. Man, I never know what's gonna happen here. I love it, man. That's so cool. That is so
it
cool.
reminds me of like, because here in Hawaii, sorry, Hinano, we have in like the early spring here, when it's like really cold, we have a festival called Cherry Blossom Festival.
Yep.
Because we have a place here in our town where there's it's just like line like rows of cherry blossom trees that were planted here long time ago. And when it's like the coldest, their blossoms come out. And so there's a Japanese like festival to celebrate that. And so they have like I think they're called taiko drummers, and they
Yep, yep.
play all that to like open up the ceremony for that day. Well, it's actually like Saturday and Sunday, so the weekend. um and then we also have like the Chinese New Year's festival here. And so that's also really popular with the dragon dances, and they're playing the drums. um but yeah, that's so cool to like to hear you play that. That's amazing, and
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
seen I seen Doctor go and sing to do a freestyle over that beat. Hey man,
Oh.
I love his stuff, man. So like
Yeah.
one day, let's see, right? So let's see if we can pick it up and we can do something cool.
Yeah, you can do a collab. Maybe you gotta show up for New York Comic Con where he's over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You know what? I think I'm done for this year, man.
Oh.
Like I said, like I'll rely on Atem, right? So if he's going down there to see anything interesting, right? So
Oh, that's
uh,
true. Yeah.
yeah. It's just like I only got so much time. Like I got to look after the business, the family commitments, and hey,
Yeah.
that's the other thing, man. We all got to look kind of like see how much time you can spend outside of those kind of like commitments and as well, right? You got to keep it a bit real as well, right? So and
Yeah. You can have a
that's the way to
balance.
do it for sure. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Because you can chase after these things endlessly, and that's one thing I will say about even the digital collectibles. I mean, at one time I was going like hard. No, I don't want to say hardcore, but definitely I was in the weeds a little bit, right? So you need something sometimes to kind of like pull you back, right?
Yeah.
And see how that goes, right? So actually, there was a story that I can tell you quickly, so that kind of give me perspective then too, right? So
Yeah.
you know Alexander the Great, you know, he's a famous kind of like general that like conquered like most of the known world at that time, right? So Macedonia, whatever it was, right? So like he was so rich, and so the story goes that like he died quite early, like quite young, and you know he's on his deathbed. And the story goes that he said like you know, I have 3 requests when I die. And he said his general said, okay, what are these requests? He said the first thing, I want the best physicians that we have. I want them to be carrying my kind of like coffin, or sort of, you know, my coffin as we go along in the procession. And then he said the second thing, I want you to like kind of like throw all these like jewels and gold all along the path, all along the way, right? And then the last thing he said is that last thing I want is that I mean, when I'm in the coffin, they're carrying me, I want my arms to be dangling out the side with my hands down, like an open, right? And the general's like, okay, we'll do that, but 100%. But why? What does that mean? So then he kind of explained to them. He said that, look, it shows that physicians carrying my coffin, that you can have the best medicine in the world, but it's not going to stop what's coming for you. Life is, you know, it's finite, right? And you have to like look at what's before you, and you have to be careful about that, right?
Yeah.
So don't rely on your medicine and your, you know, whatever. What's yeah, to the strongest is a big A. Okay. So then the second thing is like, look, all the jewels are laid along the path. I can't really take them with me, right? They're going to be like, I accumulate all this stuff, but it's going to stay here on the ground, on the earth, right? So I can't take that with me. And same thing, when hands are open, I came into this world with my hands empty, and I'm leaving with my hands empty, right? So look, don't get too much into weeds, like all these like collectibles. That it's fantastic, but make those relationships count, right? Like, I mean, these are like the different things. Like, there's other things that are important for sure. So it's perspective for sure.
Yeah. Wow, that's a cool story. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's probably like BS. I think they said that it's probably just to teach a lesson, but I like that. I like that anyway. So
Yeah, I like the meaning behind it.
yes, no, 100%. So these are all lessons, whether it be true or not. It's still profound, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
That's so cool. I love your perspective on things. I love your stories. Yeah, just a lot of different things we've talked about today, and the whole drums just kind of like made it even so much more cooler.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're getting to almost 2 hours. I don't know how much more time you have left.
Yeah, I'm gonna be probably like I said, maybe the next like 13 minutes or
Okay.
probably
Yeah,
have to
no
sign off.
worries, no
Yeah.
Yeah,
worries.
no worries.
This has been a really great conversation, DDS, and thank you so much for coming on. You may very well be one of our last guests, at least for D and I, because we did ask Big Bro if he decides to, he can also run with the podcast. He does have the keys to the podcast as well, but it was really nice to actually get to know you a lot better. I feel like we've all connected in some way or form. We have a connection to music now, and so yes,
Yeah.
we are definitely going to be. Meeting up one day and jamming together because I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that, man. So like I think you and I will resonate very well with each other. So yes, I'm gonna say it right now on air. We will definitely jam one day. I will dust off my instrument and and remember how to play music. So
There you go.
but no, thank you so much for coming on. The audience right here is enjoying your stories right now. I think it was Adro that says that there's always interesting people on, and we always get to learn a lot about what's going on here. And so the drums was just the icing on the cake right here.
Yeah.
Um, so since we're getting close to go time right here, I really want to run this giveaway for everyone. So let me show everyone what we're going to be giving away tonight on the podcast. And also, guys, if you can, please subscribe right here to DDS right here, Omisingh. This is his
Don't feel
X
any
profile.
obligation. Don't feel any obligation.
Oh man, you're gonna have a bunch of drummers start hitting that that follow button right there. But you guys, tonight we are going to be giving away 3 things. We're going to be giving away this. This is basically the rock right here. So this
Whoa.
McFarlane Toys digital
Whoa.
collectible of the rock right here. I think this is called the I forget the busk or something like that. So this is going to be for one
the
lucky
bust?
winner. Yeah, it's basically the Shazam busk because
Oh,
it's basically the rock, everybody. And then we're also going to give away this rare Cryptoids Leia to someone in the chat, as well as this fire goddess right here.
Ooh.
And I've got to tell everyone about the fire goddess. There's only 6 of them made. You will get a secret airdrop that will drop for any holder that has this legend. I think Atem just won the one from our giveaway today. DDS, you're also going to get a Leia, one of these as well, and I also have an extra one right here for you. So the giveaways that we're giving away, you're also going to get your own as well. You're going to get all 3 tonight. Go into your wallet tonight. I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate you
much.
coming on, brother. And please come back on again. I would love to have you and Guri come on, and we could really have a nice little conversation right here. Or anyone else. Omiwan, I'm looking at you there, Mr. Architect, Mr. Head Writer. But thanks for coming on, man. So we're going to send this to you.
Sure,
we're going to
sure.
send this to you, and we're going to send
Pleasure.
this to you right here. Big congrats. And guys, anyone with a legend right here will get a secret airdrop that I've already pre-minted already. So I believe we have maybe 2 or 3 left we're going to give away. Once we give away all of the legends, you will get airdrop something special in your wallet if you hold this piece. And that is kind of like what I'm going to be going forward on now with our Island Digital Art. So I've just released a sneak peek. I don't know if you see it, DDS. It's in our Discord. So the next art that's coming out is called the Wave Rider right there. Well, we'll have exactly. There'll be a classic and a legend. The legend will only have 6 pieces. Again, you will get a secret airdrop with the legends. And I plan on doing that for every single Island Digital Art that we drop in the coming future, just to give some extra utility. Who gives free utility? We do. So big congrats to you guys. But DDS, before we let you go, could you give some final words of wisdom before I run the giveaway?
I don't know what little I have left now. It's all gone, right? So it's all been given freely. Look, really, it's learn from each other, respect each other's differences, and look for the commonality in all. Because what brings us together is greater than what drives us apart, right? So it's and really. Like I said, be the change that you want to see in other people, right? Because who else is going to do it except for you, right? So, I mean, and it all starts with something simple as like a smile, right? So there you go, right? And if you need your teeth fixed, I can do that for you, right? Get you a better smile as well. So I'm open for business, but so come down to Toronto, I'll hook you up, right? You guys are great, though.
Thank you. We try. Trust me. Everything is like, nothing's planned here. Everything's held by duct tape and boiling wire. That's it. You know what I mean? So
Oh
Oh,
yeah, and then I remember. So you had that secret about your hat, but I got the, like I said, anytime you want to learn the turban tying, right? So I'll get you to.
yes.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
sort that out for you, man.
I heard about that. We need to
all
teach the
colors, all
AI.
colors.
Oh, this has been awesome, guys. All right. With that being said, let's run this giveaway and then we're going to get out of here, guys, and everyone's going to enjoy their weekend right here. Good luck. There are 19 people entered in this giveaway right now. And I don't know why StreamYards does that. Let me put us up there. Okay. All right, guys. That's
For the
it.
rock.
So we'll go. It's going to be the Rock, the Leia, and then also the Fire Goddess. So good luck to whoever wins these. And guys, here we go.
Good
For the
luck,
very first
everybody.
giveaway, and probably one of the last giveaways I'm going to be doing for anyone for a while. Good luck, everybody. Guri, let's
Guri.
go.
Guri is the rock.
Congratulations,
Nice.
brother. We have your wallet address. We will send that to you probably tonight. Yes. Am I okay to say that, D, tonight?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
It's
Unless
still
by
early.
some chance lift off, we'll have to see. But let's go again with this. Let's see who will win the Cryptoys Leia. Good luck, fam.
Good luck.
Popey.
Popey.
Let's go, brother. Love it.
Congrats, Popey.
Congrats, Popey.
Hope you're on fire.
Popey is on fire. I think he won something in the Discord as well today. So,
Mhm.
yeah, guys, if you guys want to actually find out what's going on with us as well, you have to join the Discord because that's where you'll be able to find all the happenings of what's happening with us outside of the space. And for the last one, guys, for the last prize of the night, which is the Fire Goddess, which will get you an automatic airdrop once all these Fire Goddesses are given out. Let's see who it's going to be.
Good luck.
Good luck, fam. Final giveaway of the night.
We shall see who it's gonna be.
Doctor
Doctor.
Strange.
Ooh,
Good
we
luck.
get the fire.
I'm not good luck. Congrats. Good luck. Sorry, guys.
Hey, brother. Doctor, this is as close as you can to your volcanic water that I can't send you.
He did ask us if we could bring some volcanic water. And yes, we
So
do
you got
actually
the
drink
fire goddess.
water from the volcano over here. We have purified volcanic water over here. So it's actually pretty good. So big congratulations to the winners. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us today. D, please close out the show for probably your last time in a while.
Watch us like next week. We're still here.
Don't be surprised.
Psych.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah, thank you everybody, however many are watching, for just being here and enjoying the variety of conversation topics we've talked about and getting to enjoy DDS and his journey and his experiences. And thank you, DDS, for your time. Thank you for being here and sharing with us. And I appreciate just what you've told us, what you've shared, and I can't wait to hear your music in real life. And just jam out with you and Hinano and whoever else is there. And hope you have a great weekend with your family.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you guys.
Thank you so much.
And with that being said, everyone, it is that time. Thank you so much. We have 190 people watching. It's been constant throughout this whole time, DDS. The whole fam came to come and check you out and see what you're all about. We really appreciate everyone for tuning in every single time. If you don't see us next week, we will be back. That I guarantee. So until then, take care. Until the next time, aloha.
Bye.